Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to all of you. We are very glad to see you all here and appreciate you for taking the time and effort to join us here today. Welcome to the Investor and Analyst Meet of Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank Limited. We also extend a very warm welcome to all those who are joining us virtually over Zoom. Allow me to introduce members of the management team present here with us. We have Mr. S. Krishnan, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, and Mr. P. A. Krishnan, Chief Financial Officer. We will start with a brief introduction from the Managing Director, followed by a presentation on the business and financial performance, and talk about the future opportunities that the company is looking at going forward. This will be followed by a brief question and answer session. I request you all to keep questions at the end of the presentation. If anyone wishes to ask a question, please raise your hand and we will provide you a microphone. For those joining us over Zoom, request you to please put your questions in the Q&A chat. We also request you to mention your name and organization before asking the question. Thank you. I would now like to invite Mr. S. Krishnan to give his opening remarks. So.
Thank you, and good evening to everyone who have come here in person and also through the digital mode. At the outset, let me say that today morning, the board of the bank adopted the audited financial results for the fiscal 22-23 and also the Q4 of 22-23. I'm very happy to share with members that the bank has registered the highest ever net profit of rupees 1,029 crore. So also the operating profit is the highest and the net interest income. Besides that, the numbers on the key parameters like NIM, ROA, gross NPA, net NPA, PCR and CRAR are one of the best in the past 10 years. The performance of the bank overall in all the parameters are very, very good. And I can tell that when we gave the guidance to the street last time on various parameters, the bank has surpassed or achieved the commitments what was given to the street. We said the net interest margin will be above 4, and we ended up with 4.46, ROA of 1.75 to 2, and the ROA is 1.97. Return on equity above 15, it is 16.78. And this return on equity is pursuant to the additional capital which was raised by the bank during 22-23. And the bank came as the listed entity during that year. The gross NPA was estimated to be less than 2, and it is 1.39. The net NPA was estimated to be less than 1, and we are at 0.62. The cost to income ratio was, guidance was given as 42 to 44%, and we ended up the year with 42.24%. This is what in a nutshell I have to say. And I also, when I met last time after the results, I was talking about the RBI's nod for expansion of the branch network. And we said that we will be opening around 25 branches during 22-23. The RBI's approval came somewhere at the fake end of Q3, and we could open 21 branches during 22-23, of which some of the branches in other states. The bank has put its first footprint in the northeastern state at a Guwahati branch, which was opened recently. So this is in very brief. The presentations are available. My colleague is there to quickly walk you through the presentation. And once that is over, we will definitely be much happy to interact with you so that we can take it forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Mr. Ashok Kumar to commence the presentation. Sir, please.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, we thank you very much for all of you for on our invite for having come for this event. Uh, I'll quickly take you through this presentation. Some of it has been covered by our respected MD and CEO, sir. The performance highlights of our bank for the year ended, as our MD sir has already covered, we have made the highest ever profit, net profit of 1,029 crore, an operating profit of 1,573 crore, net interest income of 2,094 crore. Some of the best in the performance of the bank so far in the last 10 years, the NIM, which is at 4.46%, ROA has moved to 1.97%, gross NPA, which is the lowest in the last 10 years at 1.39%, net NPA is at 0.62, PCR, which is the highest in the last 10 years, is at 90.90%, CRAR is at 26.26%. So the shareholders value, which is the net worth, book value and the EPS, the net worth has grown to 6,928 crore from 5,336 crore last year, and it is the best in the last 5 years. The book value is at 437.53 rupees. EPS is at 68.06. The ROA, ROE and the capital adequacy, which we have already seen. So I'm quickly jumping to the next slide. The deposits of the bank has grown by 6%, advances by 11%, total business is grown by 8%. The net profit year on year basis, it has grown by 25%, operating profit at 4% and net interest income is grown by 15%. Some of the key parameters and the key ratios, the net profit, it is, as we have already seen, it is 1,029 crore, 1,573, net interest income is at 2,094 and the NIM has gone to 4.46%. Gross NPA, net NPA, which we have already seen, so I'm skipping. So on a quarter-on-quarter basis, this is a growth that we made. The net interest income, which has grown to 527%. On a year-on-year basis, it is 7.99%. Gross NPA is at 1.39, net NPA is at 0.62. The other ratios which you have already seen, the CET1 ratio is at 24.61%. Some of the efficiency ratios, which are credit cost, which has come down from 0.63 to 0.40. The cost of fund has come down from 4.9% to 4.71%. The cost of income ratio also has come down from 42.29% to 42.24%. The cost of deposit also has marginally reduced from 4.91% to 4.71%. The yield on advances is at 9.43. The yield on investment, it has slightly gone up from 6.74 to 6.85. The yield on the funds has slightly increased from 8.65 to 8.69. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, the credit cost is at 0.4% and cost of funds is at 5.15%. Cost income ratio has slightly gone up, 43.14. Cost of deposits is at 5.17. Yield on advances has slightly increased from 9.46 to 9.90. Yield on investments is at 6.85 and yield on funds it is at 9.12%. The gross NPA and net NPA, which we have already seen, and its absolute value in terms of absolute value, it has reduced from 570.92 to 521.46 on a year-on-year basis, and net NPA has come down from 317 crore to 229 crore. This is sector-wise NPA on a YoY basis. There has been a marginal reduction on every parameter, every segment. The retail, it has come down from 55.7 to 44. Agri, it is 48. MSME has come down from 271.184. In corporate, slightly it is up 196 to 243 crore. The slippage ratio as such on the overall portfolio, it has come down from 1.7% to 0.82. On a segment-wise basis, the absolute numbers are available. It is in the PPT you can see. The movement of NPA, it has, the year has been opened with 570 crore and it is closed with 521 crore. There has been a cash recovery upgradation and write-off. The fresh addition is 271 crore as against the reduction of 320 crore. The PCR stands at 90.90. SMA on a YOY basis, on every, the overall SMA, it has come down drastically from 4,191 crore to 2,447 crore in the financial year 2023. The sector-wise SMA, on a retail segment, it has come down from 1,137 crore to 971 crore. Agri, MSME, and across all segments, there has been a considerable reduction in the SMA. The stressed asset ratio, it was at 4.46% last year. It has come down to 3.18% for the year. NPA as a segment-wise, quarter-on-quarter basis, there has been a considerable decrease, 47 to 44, 77 to 48 in Agri, MSME 294 to 184. In other segments, slightly it has increased, but overall gross NPA, it has come down from 591 in December and it has, from 591 to 521. The slippage on a sector-wise quarter-on-quarter basis, there has been a reduction in retail and agriculture. There is slight increase in the MSME and other segment, it is almost the same. But overall, it is from 50 crore to 70 crore. The movement of NPA on a quarter-on-quarter basis. From Q3 it was 593, Q4 it has come down to 591. And closing it from 591 crore to 591. And there has been a considerable reduction through recovery and upgradation. The fresh addition compared to the reduction, it is lower. The reduction has been more. SMA on a sector-wise quarter-on-quarter basis. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, there is a slight increase in the retail segment. Agriculture, there is a considerable reduction. In MSME also, there is a reduction from 1,068 crore to 924. And other segment, drastically it has come down from 525 to 341 crore. This is a stressed asset on a quarter-on-quarter basis. There has been a considerable reduction here also. The overall percentage, it has come down from 4% to 3.18%. This is a position of restructured advances. The restructured advances is at on a quarter-on-quarter basis. It has come down from 896 to 785, which is around 2% of the overall portfolio. The sector-wise restructured accounts, the details is visible on the screen. There also, it has come down overall from 896 to 785. Retail segment, there is a reduction. Agri and corporate also there is a reduction. And MSME, there is a considerable reduction from 341 to 306 crore. So on all the segments, the accounts have come down. The overall business mix, which is deposits and advances, the deposits, it has grown from 44,933 to 47,766 crore on a YOY basis. And the advances 33,748 to 37,582, which is around 11%. The overall deposits portfolio contributed by CASA and term deposits. Term deposits, it is 13,736 and the CASA is at 13,736 and term deposits 34,030. CASA ratio is around 29%. And the overall advances portfolio, retail, agri, MSME, and the corporate sector. Out of this, the RAM segment, which is the retail, agri, and MSME, contributes to around 87% on the overall total advances portfolio. So various other income parameters which are there, which is available for you for doing the analysis. The gross profit from 1,516 to 1,572, it has grown. The net profit on a YoY basis, it has grown by 25%. In an absolute term, it has grown from 821 crore to 1,029 crore. So as a balance sheet, it has increased from 52,858 to 57,895. These are some of our strategic partners, and this is our branch expansion. We have around 48.49% in semi-urban, 20% of branches in urban, 16% in rural, and 14% in metro. This is our presence across the country. We're present in 17 states and 4 union territories. Some of the awards and accolades which is available on the net. We thank you very much for your patience in hearing, and I would request our MD sir, and also request your questions which will be answered by our MD sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll open the floor for questions now. We request you again to mention your name and organization before asking or typing the question. We'll first be taking questions from participants here and followed by participants that are joining us over Zoom. Thank you.
Hello. Okay. Hi, this is Mayank Agrawal from Incred Capital. So first of all, congrats on the good set of numbers. So my first question is on branch expansion. So what would be our branch expansion plan in FY 24-25? What are the states we would be coming, opening the branches? And my second question is that large peers are heavily investing in technology, and how we plan to compete with them and save our market share? And what would be the impact of our branch expansion and OPEX on the our overall OPEX trajectory? And my next question is on growth. So which product would be driving our loan book growth from here on? And also what would be our strategy on deposit acquisition on the current interest rate scenario? And my last question is, as we have a very large agri book, and how could a poor monsoon can affect our asset quality performance there?
Thank you. As far as the branch opening is concerned, during 23-24, that is the current fiscal, we plan to open around 50 branches. The last fiscal, we opened 21 branches, as I said. These 50 branches, the location will be across the country where there is a good potential available. That is the centers which we will be taking. And these new branches which we are opening, yes, we are conscious of the OPEX getting increased because of the new branches. But we are also consciously taking the decision and picking up the center in such a way that I am able to have a quick break even. So we will be able to manage that, and this current fiscal we plan to have around 50 branches opening. As far as the IT investment and how to be with the market, let me give you a small flavor to all of you that the bank has embarked upon a large-scale digital transformation along with the business process reengineering. We have engaged one of the best consultants for the business process reengineering. As a phase one, we will be focusing on the MSME, which will include the digital also as far as the MSME space is concerned. We have also taken up other than digital transformation, like revamping of my mobile banking, net banking, and bringing a lot of digital products to my customers so that we can be with the best available in the industry. We hope to have majority of these completed during the fiscal 23-24. As far as the growth and the strategies are concerned, the growth will be advances. We will be growing around 15%, 12 to 15% on every conservative basis. The strategies, we will continue to focus on the RAM segment. While the mix may vary, today I have 87 and 13, the mix may vary little here and there, but the focus will continue to be on the RAM segment, where I have totally diversified risk, no concentration risk, and that is the area where the entire nuances are well known to the bank. So the growth percentage, as I said, will be around 12 to 15%, and the strategy will continue to be in the RAM segment. The other question was about the monsoon and the climate change is being studied, and by and large, as far as our portfolio is concerned, we feel that 23-24 should be a good one. We expect good monsoon for Tamil Nadu this year, so we hope that it will be good.
Sir, Arun Kejriwal here from Kejriwal Research.
Yes.
Couple of questions.
Please.
Sir, we are trading roughly 20% cheaper than our IPO price. Even at the time of IPO, we had another person who was heading the bank, and the bank looked very attractive when it had come. 3 quarters have gone by and our price has slipped. Is there something that I am missing which the market doesn't want to understand, or is there something you could enlighten us as to why we are trading where we are?
Probably this question, you may be a better person to enlighten me. If you look into, I will say that any parameter you take, this is one of the best. I don't say that we are the best in all the parameters. Almost we are best in every parameter, that I can say. What is required for any investor, stakeholder is by and large looking into the net worth, looking into the book value, EPS, your ROA, ROE, everything is good. Probably the float is what I feel. The float, if when it increases, it may also be. So I expect that the market will be definitely recognizing the performance, and we will wait and watch.
Sir, are there any, is there any improvement on the legacy issues, or is that still haunting you, or what?
No, as far as the legacy issue is concerned, the issue are sub judice. But that has nothing to do with the bank. That is what I want to clarify. That has nothing to do with the bank, and even earlier also, that had never come on the performance of the bank. If you look into the performance of the bank year after the year, it has been extremely good. But the legacy issues are one by one is getting resolved. Some of the issues have been resolved, some are sub judice before the different courts of law. So that in the due course, the courts of law will decide.
Sir, last question. You mentioned about the growth factor, that RAM will continue to drive growth. Could you be a little more specific on that? RAM is already at 87%. So within RAM, anything particular that you're looking forward to drive the growth?
Okay, see, what I said was that my focus will be on RAM. That is what I said. I also said that today I have 87-13 mix of RAM and corporate, but it may vary here and there. This is what I said, meaning that probably from 87 I may come down to 85 or 83, or I may go to 89, like that, depending on the potentials available. Why I said was that I am not averse to the corporate. The corporate I am selective, and if I get a good corporate, definitely I will be giving the exposure, taking the exposure there also. Now, within the RAM where I have today, if I look into around 37% of my loan book is from the MSME. And there is a very good potentials in India for the MSME. So we will be concentrating on that. Second, we are also concentrating on the retail. So my strength, if we really look into, lies on this RAM segment, which I will like to continue to utilize that strength and grow. But at the same time, I am also open for the corporates where I get a good corporate. That's why I said the mix may vary here and there.
Sir, last question. We've done a payout of roughly 15% of profit. Is that a fair assessment going forward, or it could vary year to year?
No, as far as the payout is concerned, no company will be able to say that will it be a constant one for the future continuously. It all, you know that the payout depends on various factors, right? So if I look back to the history, if the history is going to be one of the yardstick to envisage the future, if that being the case, yes, if you look back to the history of the bank has been consistently paying good payout, a reasonably good payout. So that continues. Let us hope for that.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Hello. So this is
Sir, Ramesh Bhagwani from Mehta and Vakil. First and foremost, you have delivered an excellent performance.
Thank you.
And one can see from your body language and your expression, you are also happy about it.
Absolutely. When my analysts and investors are happy, I am definitely multiple times happy.
Because you introduced to us that this is the best performance in the last 10 years.
Yes.
So this is excellent and full marks to your team who has worked tirelessly and seen to it that each and every area and segment there is a remarkable improvement.
Thank you.
Sir, at the moment, your CASA is 29%. You are adding 50 branches. So going forward, do you see this CASA ratio improving higher, say to 34, 35?
Yeah, that is the whole idea. Yeah. See, if you look into the very purpose of enhancing my or increasing my network numbers, is that how can I tap the CASA? Correct. As far as the other business is concerned, today we can do through the digital and other things, right? So this is the whole idea, how I can do. So my estimate is by and large to you, but again, the bank, we always give a very conservative estimate because our this one is we give the estimate and we should surpass it.
Yes.
That is our practice.
Yes.
So I say that as a guidance, in 3 years, we will be reaching around 35% of the CASA.
Excellent. Wonderful. And the second question or the last question was, you are lending across sectors and segments, yes. MSME, corporate, retail, agriculture. Are you seeing, you showed a remarkable decline in the stressed assets. Are you seeing any concentrated stress segment, sectors, areas, or individual corporates going forward?
No, see, the thing is, if I have to answer to you in general for the industry, and then for specific to my bank,
yes,
right?
Yes.
If I have to say that in the raising interest rate scenario, naturally there will be little pains, and who are more fragile? If you ask, definitely it is the MSME or the retail who are more fragile than the corporates who may be having a deep pocket. They may be able to withstand the shocks. Then if I extend that logic to my bank, one can always say that you have more of retail and MSME and you say they are fragile. But the numbers will now prove that yes, it is the TMB who has reduced the stressed assets also. Now, my experience in the last 4 decades in the industry is that the MSME and retail are fragile, but what is required is a hand-holding for them. If we are able to hand-hold them, guide them, and take them in the right path,
Yeah.
they will be able to do wonders. So that is what really TMB is doing. That is how we are able to bring down the stressed assets, and educating the credit discipline is another requirement in the country. There are people, many people who will be able to pay, but why to pay on day one? Why not on 90th day? Now, if we go and explain to them that this is sort of the impact, your credit history will be spoiled, and if you pay in time, then these are the incentives that is available, and they are ready to pay. Now, what I have done that I have linked my rate of interest based on the credit risk score. So
Excellent.
naturally, then when we go and explain to him, they are incentivized. So they've come forward. This is one of the technique which we adopted now. But only thing is, the number of customers will be more in a retail loan and MSME than a corporate. So the bank has to take larger pains, which we are used to. That is how we are able to bring down.
Excellent, sir. And going forward, we are looking at a regime of lowering of interest rates.
Yes.
As has been indicated, with this time, the MPC has put the rate on hold and expecting inflation to soften and come down, which has happened.
Yeah.
So going forward scenario, we are looking at least 25, 25 and 25, 3 times a
Yes.
reduction in the rate.
Yes, yes.
Which will be helpful in our overall strategy.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you and all the best.
Welcome, sir. Thank you.
Hi, so this is Prabal. So this is Prabal from Ambit Capital. Sir, when we are focusing on RAM segment, MSME is 37% of the book, but the growth there is just 6%. So why are we not able to grow that segment?
See, it is 6%, but if you look into the last year, they were picking up the MSMEs. I am talking again the whole of the industry. If you look into the MSMEs were having a lot of pains during the COVID time. After the COVID time, they started picking up. So there will be little, the new capacities coming in, new industries coming in, or at a slower pace. So that is the reason it was at 6%. And the percentage again, if you look into based on the base number, within my base is small, but within my base, the MSME base is little more, right? That also constitutes. But yes, there is a good scope for the retail. We have been 37% in MSME. There is also within the RAM segment also we need to diversify. So that was the reason that the retail also push was given. We were able to take it, nothing otherwise.
And on the competition, so we are seeing some of the large players becoming very aggressive in the MSME segment. They are growing more than 30% even on a larger base. How do we plan to compete with them, and how do we plan to retain our customers?
See, as far as we are concerned, we have a niche market in the MSME, right? And as far as the service is concerned, the bank offers the best services. So the competition, I do not find it as a competition. Where the competition can come is on the pricing. On the pricing, there is a possibility of some big players giving a lower price. But today, when I analyze what is the pricing that I and the others are giving, almost comparable. Almost comparable. I don't say that, yes, we are better than them, but almost comparable. I have not passed on some of the things. That is one reason, otherwise my NIM would have gone further high. I thought my NIM is good at 4.47 or 4.46. So let me have this. And so as far as the pricing is concerned, we have rationalized the rates. We have not passed on some of the portion of the rate hike. The bank has absorbed it. So the pricing is also not a big competition, though it is a competition. But by and large, any borrower, what he will do is he will be satisfied if I am able to give a timely credit delivery. They don't mind in giving even little extra when the service is good. So towards enhancing or improving that TAT, I said in the beginning that we are embarking upon a large-scale digital transformation, more particularly on the MSME as a BPR, business process engineering. So the digital state of the art will be put, LOS will be put in place. And ultimately, I expect that I am able to give end-to-end digital lending to my MSME borrowers in the first place, so that there will be hassle-free banking for them.
So just on the stat, so what is the TAT currently for an MSME customer, let's say?
It depends on the type of requirement and also the quantum.
Let's say it's a fresh loan of 5 crore.
On an average, it is about a week also, week to 10 days, which we propose to bring down substantially through the digital, so that what happens is that my LOS will have interface with various agencies, be it the GST, be it the IT, be it the Aadhaar or Udayam portal. So I am able to give quickly the in-principle clearance, and then there will be a centralized hub where I will have specialized people to process it, and my relationship manager will be in touch with the customer, so that I can bring down that substantially. So towards this one day, I was telling that we have also in partnership with one of the well-known consultant to bring the best practices across the globe.
And so what is the niche that we're targeting? What is the ticket size that we typically target?
No, my ticket size today is around 25 to 15 lakhs by and large. And the niche market, what I said is that today I have larger presence in the southern part of the country. Not only Tamil Nadu, I have larger presence in the neighboring states like Kerala or Karnataka or Andhra, like that, where there are a lot of MSMEs. And now I have started enlarging my presence at Gujarat. I have reasonably good. And out of the 21 branches, I have recently opened one branch at Morbi. Wherever I have, and in all the places, we have established the brand image of the bank, particularly on the service front. So those become the niche area for me.
Then just last one question on this risk-based pricing. So you said that now the customer who has a lower score and the higher credit score will get the benefit of the pricing. Was this not the case earlier?
It was not earlier, in the sense we have now strictly fixed, particularly on the retails and other things, strictly based on that. There were internal ratings also. Now what happens is, I want to inculcate the credit discipline. I want to educate the customers. What will happen if the credit history is spoiled? In India, that is what is more important. I am able to see the result myself in my bank. That is how the stress book has come down substantially.
All right. And so just last, have you heard from RBI that you need to increase the PCR from, let's say, 55% to 70%?
No.
Nothing on that.
No.
Thank you, sir. All the best.
Welcome.
Sir, first of all, I want to know that our bank name is Tamil Nadu. So is it a regional image it is giving like that, sir? Though your performance has been superb, I have come to the thing. Now, your focus will be on retail or SME, because that is likely to be vulnerable. That is coming up industry, very likely to falter in your repayment and all that. So where you would like to focus,
Okay.
which you can give you better return in future, sir.
Okay.
And number two, sir, your CASA, somebody has mentioned, if it is of a standard nature, it should be at least 35 to 40%. Many banks are reporting that. Ours is a bit lower, sir.
Yeah.
So you should work into that.
Sure.
Now, as per somebody mentioned, market not responded, even if these results are out, it is not still responded so well. It is anticipated, it will be good, but it has not gone so much today even. So what are the measures you are looking for? Because float you have mentioned, float is low. How will you increase float? Are you increasing the capital, or Reserve Bank is asking you? Sometimes Reserve Bank is focusing, you increase capital. If it is not so, what are the other measures you would like to take, sir?
Okay.
That is my mood question, sir.
Okay.
I am in investor category, not among the,
Thank you. And your first question was whether it is a regional based bank, the name indicates something like that. Am I right? Have I understood properly your question?
So because today's news is all the PSU banks are likely to be, privatized. That is today's news, sir. So more competition is going to come in.
Yes.
For you, sir.
No, today, whether it is the private or public, competition, the same people are there with the ownership difference. You are asking about whether I am a regional bank, and also your the name indicates something like that. You are telling, in fact, morning or so I was talking to someone. I say that I want to make this bank as a pan-India bank. Now, whether the name itself indicates a regional bank, I was referring that if we take, for example, the India's largest bank, that is SBI, which is having a global presence. So if somebody asks that your name carries India, is it specific to a country? Definitely not. So likewise, my name is cannot be taken that I am specific to a region. Yes, it is true that large number of my network are today in the southern part of the country. So that is what matters more than the name. Hence, we are very much conscious of this. We are expanding in other places. As I was telling that, yes, now I have gone to the northeastern state to begin with. So when we expand this year 23-24 also, we will be focusing on the other states where I do not have presence, where there is a good potential for the business. So these will be the factors which will be weighing merits while I decide on the place and the branch, number of branches. Now coming to the other question of my CASA, undoubtedly the CASA is lower at 29%. But ironically, if you look into the industry as a whole, where from the CASA geographically comes more, if you analyze, mostly it will be from belts like Northeastern and states like Uttar Pradesh. If one analyzes, I know that there are a lot of analysts here who will be having more data than me. That is where it is coming. So that is another reason why I will be expanding. And somebody asked earlier that the network will be increasing for the CASA purpose. Yes, otherwise today brick and mortar is not required. I can digitally connect with the people. So going forward, we will be expanding in those places where I have good potential for the CASA. And as I said, as a conservative guidance to the street, we will be taking the CASA to 35% in another about 3 years or so. The other question regarding where I will be focusing within the RAM segment to know whether it is under the retail or MSME, let me again give the flavor of my loan book. Today, my loan book within the RAM, if I look into, the retail represents 20% of my loan book, around 30% is my agriculture, and around 37% is the MSME. That is how it is distributed. As I was telling that, yes, MSME we will be continuing to focus. We are also focusing on the retail and agriculture, where again, I have a good foothold, where again, I will be having good margins. So we are looking into that. That is how my growth, if you look into in retail, was the highest growth in Q4 year on year. If I look into, the growth is around 16% in retail, and agriculture is around 15%. The MSME is 5%. I hope this answers your question.
But one thing, sir, how will you control NPA in future? Because NPA is the one thing which is again creating doubt in the minds of people about the growth. NPA earlier nobody was bothering, but now it has become a parameter while looking into any balance sheet. And CASA deposit, I told you. So these are the things which gives better impression in the investor community or anybody who wants to open a new account or performance. And lastly, sir, one question, which is giving you the least NPA, retail or MSME or any other segment?
So you see, as far as the NPA is concerned, yes, it is very, very important one, which is for a banking company. But from the data, you could have seen that my NPA year after the year is coming down, and it has come down to 1.39 in this 22-23. Coming to which sector is having the least slippage, I can say that my overall slippage itself is less than 1%. It is just 0.82%. So when my overall slippage itself is 0.82%, that gives a lot of comfort as to should I go further and drill down. If I drill down in absolute terms, I can say numbers. The retail, I had the slippage of 18 crore during 22-23 against 66 crore. Agri is almost flat, I can say, slippage of 47 crore against 42 crore, a marginal increase of 5 crore. MSME, which normally people will think that it is risky, which you are also expressing, the numbers speak otherwise. My MSME slippage is just 170 crore against 355 crores. And of course, corporate is concerned, I have a very small portion. Slippage is only 37 crore. So this clearly indicates that though per se, if I look into, if I compare, it is only the retail where an increase of 5 crore over the previous year is there. 5 crore is minuscule, as good as flat. And MSME, which is considered as more risky, prone for slippage and other things, it is proved in TMB that my slippages are much less. How this has happened is only through effective monitoring, close monitoring, increasing the collection efficiency. So that is how we are able to maintain the asset quality.
Sir, hi. So this is Sandeep from Unify Capital. So my question is on the dividend policy. So you mentioned that there are a lot of parameters on which you decide what's the payout is going to be. So can you just discuss this on a bit? I mean, what kind of parameters are actually stopping you to declare a higher dividend payout? So for example, we have a large bank which are actually growing higher than you and have a lower capital base compared to you, and they are still declaring a higher dividend payout compared to you. So what is stopping us to declare a higher dividend payout? And also a growth assumption, I mean, a growth expectation is around 12 to 15%. So there is a lot of room to declare a higher dividend payout. So can you just speak on this a bit?
Well, I have noted your point of higher dividend payout. See, if you look into, I have paid 100%. The dividend, that is 10 rupees share, 10 rupees dividend has been paid, including the interim dividend. It is not paid, it is proposed. The final dividend has been recommended by the board today. Now, whether it is to be 100, is it to be 110, is it to be 150, or it's to be 80 or 90? So these are all matters which can be discussed. I only say that if you look into the past history of the bank has been consistently paying the dividend year after the year. And maybe it has also been increased over the period of time. I take your point, probably going forward, we will think what can be. We will deliberate in the board.
Sure, understood, sir. So one more question is on growth. So you did mention that your focus is actually to improve the RAM segment, and within RAM, your focus is on MSME. So can you just speak a bit on this as well? I mean, the MSME book has grown by almost 6%. You mentioned one thing as you are actually adding branches. You are actually doing end-to-end kind of digital loan to your MSMEs. Sir, apart from this, what kind of efforts you are actually taking to improve the loan growth in the MSME segment? Because it's contributed almost 35% of our book. So what kind of efforts you are actually making in, for example, adding frontline staff and all? So what kind of efforts you are taking over here?
Okay. See, I will be having a separate marketing team in the bank as of now. Specifically is not there, so there will be a sales team who will be scouting for the good business. There will be a funnel where all the leads will come. So when I said that I am going for a state-of-the-art loan originating system, which will include the lead management also. So as any other good bank or this one is having, there will be a lot of references. It will be put to the funnel, and there will be screening from that, and I will be able to take it forward. So there will be a separate marketing team with relationship managers and other things which are in the pipeline of working that. I also said that We are in the process of the business process re-engineering, for which we have also engaged one of the good consultant, global renowned consultant. And going forward, I expect that this will increase my sales force.
Is this going to be a major reason to increase your MSME book?
One of the reasons which will increase.
Okay, understood. So one more question on the corporate book. In the last quarter, you were actually mentioned that almost 20% of decline in your corporate book was actually because a few of the corporates didn't renew their credit limits. And this quarter, we are actually seeing some improvement. So are these the same customers or these are completely new customers which are onboarded in this
No,
quarter?
I will correct that. I didn't said that some of the corporates have not renewed. I only said it got matured. This is the exact word I remember to have used.
Okay.
It got matured during the last quarter, and I said that yes, going forward, whenever their requirements are there, definitely we are there to serve them, and they are there to bank with us. So that is what I said. It is not that they have not renewed with me. But yes, as far as your question is concerned, whether this increase is out of those customers, could be a part, could be new also.
Okay, thanks.
Sir, there are three types of institutions who are serving the MSME: NBFCs, banks, and SFBs.
Yes.
If I am an SME, what prompts me to go to either of these three? It is the interest rate, it is the quick servicing, it is banking at my doorstep. If you could give us some flavor, because every day we are finding that the competition here seems to be heating up.
It is a mixture of that. If you ask me, it is a mixture of that. The MSME, what they want is, many of the MSMEs even today in the country, they may not be able to reach out to the banks. Why still, despite the fact that there is a financial inclusion, there is a inclusive banking, but still there are money lenders in the country, which cannot be disputed. Why it is happening is that still there are people who are not aware of the banking channel, who are not able to come. Now the question is how these people are able to reach out to them and take the business. So the MSMEs, some of the MSMEs are well, now they have grown, well informed of what is the banking and other things. There are still many people who are yet to. So it is a mixture. What will drive them to approach whether the SFB or NBFC or SCB is a mixture of that, which includes the TAT, the timely service at their doorsteps, educating them, helping them. Many of the MSMEs, they do not know. They know to do the business, but they do not know how to give the presentations, what is required. They will simply say that I want this. अगर ये मेरा पास पैसा है तो मैं इतना कर सकता हूँ. This is what they will say. Now the question comes on to educating the customer. So if we are able to play all this role with a competitive pricing, probably we will be on the top of it. So a mixture of that is required.
So our loans are what? These are all secured loans. We have a
Yes.
lot of LAS against it.
No,
LAP
most
loans. I mean, how does it work?
Most
for
of
us?
my, I can say that the unsecured lending in a bank is minuscule. It's less than 1%.
So it is mainly loan against property, loan against some building.
No, it is not only loan against the property, but they are secured in a sense.
Okay.
We give for the working capital. A lot of my MSMEs are for the working capital purpose, but we do have the security. There are people who say that they have security. They don't mind, instead of keeping the title deeds in their house, they lodge with me as a security.
And this portfolio that we have, what would be the average yield for just the MSME segment?
I can ask my people to
Sure.
give it.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Sushil Joksi, Indus Equity.
Yeah.
So congratulations on the result. So first is, what is our presence in southern states, if you can break up?
Okay.
Business, huh? I don't mean branches.
Okay. Business will be by and large, 1 minute, I will give you. See, I have a total business of around 85,000, both the deposit and advances put together. Out of that, around 65,000 is from the state of Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
So that alone answers your question.
So next is what percentage of your customers have touch points on cross-sell? Because you have RAM, you have agriculture, and you have MSME. Does your MSME touch upon any other product than borrowing from you?
Yeah, we are now doing, in fact, if you look into, we have entered into tie-ups with the third party also. And the cross-selling for the MSME, where their requirement is there for their own purchase of house or like that, we also do that. So by and large, now it is maybe I cannot say that I have much of the cross-selling. Each customer may be having around 1.5 to 1.75 products.
My direct question is, you have Chola, Sundaram,
Yes.
Aptus, Muthoot, Manappuram. I keep adding. And if you look at their balance sheets or even West-based affordable housing or gold loan companies, tractor financing companies, possibly that is the missing link where your advances are concerned, possibly.
We are working on those areas. So probably 23, 24 should give us. We also have a detailed strategy meeting of the board slated for the next month, where we'll be deliberating at length as to what are all these things. And I hope that when I meet you all again, if not earlier, at least immediately after the Q1 results, I wish to meet you even before that. I'll be able to throw much more light on those things.
So the question there is, will you make sure that the expertise is in-house, or you'll do with cross-selling by DA, or you'll by doing co-lending?
See, I will be doing with that DSA. Already it is in process. I will be also having the co-lending, which is in the discussion stage with me. So as far as the in-house talent is concerned, yes, currently we are using the in-house talent. In addition to that, I am planning to have the DSAs and also the co-lending.
So now technology spend, looking at those businesses and the current business synergy which you are on expansion mode, or you will be coming to west or east, what kind of spend we are envisaging over a period of 3 years?
See, as far as the invest is concerned, technology invest is concerned, over a period of 3 years, probably I may be investing around 200 to 250 crore.
Okay. Now you may be working with Boston, McKinsey, whoever, doesn't matter. They are the front ends, the back ends who are working
Or
with
technologies.
Not only technology and the partnership people who
Yeah,
work
yeah.
behind them.
Yes.
And there are people who are with rich experience like yourself. Your previous roles I have seen myself in various organizations. What stops you from doing 80% retail or 75% RAM and 25% corporate?
No, I was telling Mr. Choksi that yes, it is not the current 87-13 is not a rigid ratio. That is what I was telling. There will be a little, if you look into that, probably, if you ask me, you said 75-25, I will say that 80-20 to begin with will be a better proposition. So we are working on that. That is why I said that this ratio is not very rigid. 87-13 is not a rigid one. I may be going here and there. So that is how, and we are very much open for taking a good corporates.
What do you think will be the biggest enabler for your business to do better than what you're doing today? If I ask you 2-3 steps, besides technology and opening branches, I'm sure that CASA is one of the function of that. What will enable Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank to do much better than where we stand today in 3 years?
See, one is I am also having a HR transformation in the bank, right? You said that barring the technology, you have already excluded the technology, which will be a good enabler. So apart from the technology, what will be, And I said that we are also doing a business process engineering. Today, the bank is a 100 years old bank. So there are processes which may be required to be totally transformed, reprocessed, so that I'm able to give the best services within the short span of time. So that business process engineering will also help me to a great extent, coupled with the HR transformation.
Because the states where your business is 85-90% today is agriculture, there's manufacturing, and major part is services business.
Yes.
And one state has a huge amount of tourism too. Now, looking at diverse segments, how do you capitalize on what are the 1 or 2 areas of expertise which the bank will develop first?
See, as far as the expertise is concerned, today I have expertise on agriculture, I have expertise on retail and services. So definitely we will be capitalizing those things. And the state which you referred, yes, good scope is there, excellent opportunities are there. In fact, today in the same hall, earlier part when somebody was talking that we have larger concentration in the state of Tamil Nadu, will you like to have, I said that yes, within the number of network what I have, if I look into, I have larger concentration. But if I look into what is the potential in Tamil Nadu, have I tapped the entire potential? Definitely it is not so. Still I have untapped. I can still do that.
So what percentage of your loans, agriculture loans, are backed by gold?
Backed by gold. Pardon? Around 10,000 crore is backed by gold individual loan.
So, and is it possible in future that your housing loans and auto loans, all these segment retail can be broken up in the presentation?
Yeah, definitely, sure. We
Thank
can.
you. Thank you for answering all my questions.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sir, you made quite a few valid points in the course of the Q&A.
Yes.
One thought came to my mind.
Yes.
Are you seriously looking at microfinance in Tamil Nadu itself? Or in your MSME segment, the M which stands for micro is an upgradation from the microfinance itself?
Yeah, I can say it is an upgrade of that. It is an upgrade of that.
Yes.
So already if you say that way, I am financing a lot of micro industries. So it is a microfinance, you can say. But the microfinance company per se, there are microfinance company per se who will be concentrating on different types of customers where they will be able to reach the last mile. If you ask me, am I going to do that? I may be doing a portion in the areas where I have this, or the other one which the other gentleman was asking that, what are you looking into? One is the co-lending. So I will be definitely taking that route where I will have a synergy.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
the best.
Hello, sir. This is Gaurav here from Tunga Investments. Sir, I have one question on the MSME. As I think somebody asked earlier, there have been a lot more focus from large private sector bank on the MSME segment. One thing which has happened in the last 3-4 years is the availability of GST data, right? Which has democratized a lot of that. And now we are thinking about digitalizing the bank, which will we will catch up to that thing what these large private sector banks are already doing. What would be our edge going forward? Like we are in the catch up mode, if I can say so. What will remain our edge considering the MSME is a large segment for us?
See, as far as the technology, the digital front is concerned, we are in the catch up mode. We need to catch up, which is a statement of fact. But there is enough business in the market. It is not that only those banks who have already got the technology are able to get the business. There is enough market is available. As far as my edge is concerned, as I said that we have a great experience in dealing with the MSME, because since your question is specific to the MSME, we have a great experience of a century of financing the MSMEs. And when we have serviced for 100 years, we have come across the cycle many times. So we know the climate, we know the cycle, how it will be. So we will be able to. Added to that, when I'm going to have the technology, I will have the great edge amongst all the people. And this technology will not take much of that time. I expect that it will be completed as quickly as possible.
But sir, can you just talk about what is this edge? Like, what exactly are we doing? Is it a doorstep or knowing something specific about those industries? Is there some qualitative thing that you're talking about? What exactly
No,
is this edge?
see, if you say, I was telling that what is today required for MSME is hand-holding. When I say hand-holding, it is starting from educating them as to what is to be done and having a personal relationship, meeting them, greeting them, and have when you visit the customer very frequently, you come to know of the pulses of the business. The so-called EWS, early warning system, whatever software I have, this will be a better EWS when my person visit very often, discuss with him and understand what are the pain points, where we are going to have the pains so that we can take the corrective measures. And that helps the MSME entrepreneur that he doesn't fall into any of the problems. Because if he falls into problem, I fall into the problem. And if I stop him from falling into the problem, he is very happy. So that is what we do, and that is the great edge that I have.
And sir, just one more question here on the same point. If these large private sector banks continue to drive down the pricing, will we continue to match them, or is there some other niche that we'll be focusing on then?
No, again, see, I told that when I did a comparative study of the pricing, particularly of the MSME segment of various banks, I am not an outlier. I was telling that I have not passed on some of the rate hikes which I absorbed. Because yes, I do have the capacity today, so I absorbed some of the rate hikes, though I have passed on a portion of the rate hikes. So I am not an outlier today as far as the pricing is concerned. I also said that it is not the pricing alone which is going to drive a customer to decide in favor or against of a particular bank, though it is one of the important driver. So when I am not an outlier, added to that, when I have a good service, when I understand and handhold him, I don't find that I will have any difficulty.
Got it, sir. And sir, in this MSME segment, like suppose we have 100 rupees of book, is this like when we talk about growth, is it largely existing clients which grow this book, or is this a new client?
No,
What's the typical proportion?
We do have the new customers. We have a concept of new customer acquisition. So it is a blend of that, both the existing and the new customers. Existing customers alone may not be able to drive you a large growth. So we do have the new customers acquisition.
Would you be able to just give a directional comment how it would be? Just I don't want exact number, but
no, I can ask people to work out and give you. Okay.
Sir, I just realized that our book value is almost 400 rupees today with this edition of New Year. And our market value is very pitiable. Now, what are the reasons? You can, find out yourself, sir.
Yeah.
So one thing I would suggest, if you don't mind,
please.
your face value is rupees 10 today. Without change your balance sheet, you can just split the stock split. That will increase your float automatically. Your value will increase.
Yes.
That is the one thing, sir. And secondly, sir, as I thought, more branches come in an area where CASA can increase. They will carry a message.
Yes.
To this bank, but this is the one bank which is going. Your results are fantastic, I found. But the valuation-wise, it doesn't look to be very handsome. So this is my suggestion. If you can look into it.
Sure. Thank you for your suggestion.
In the interest of the investor.
Definitely, sir. Definitely. Thank you for your suggestion.
Sir, hi, this is Sandeep again. Sir, you mentioned a few things. For example, you mentioned that you are actually looking to tie up with DSAs and actually looking to do co-lending. You'll be adding branches. You have recently added a marketing vertical plus HR transformation. You mentioned these few things. Sir, in this context, considering your size, how do you see your guidance of 12 to 15% growth? Is it conservative? Is it
very, very conservative. I told that we normally give you a very conservative estimate and surpass that. That is what I myself said, that is a very conservative estimate that we are giving.
So what is an aspirational number for you then?
It's a good question. The aspirations are always very high. Probably my aspiration will be to reach the sky. That may be the aspiration. But definitely, yes, we will be matching with the industry.
Oh, okay, okay. So what's your estimate on industry growth then for financial year 24?
You may be a better person to tell, Mr. Sandeep, is it not? Yeah, we will be matching with the industry.
Okay, understood, sir. So one more question is on yields. So your yields have actually improved by 45 basis points on a quarter basis. Your yields were almost similar for the last 2-3 quarters. So what has actually led to this increase?
See, the rates were increased, the repo rates. Today I have around 48 to 50% of my loan book are linked to the repo rate. And earlier, some of the repo rates were this one, and there is a time lag of 3 months in our bank to pass on. So that got matured. Hence, there is an increase in the Q4. That is how it has come.
Okay, okay. And so is that large amount of pass on is completed, or is there
Pardon?
is still some, is a large amount of pass on of rates is completed, or there is still
Yeah,
something left to
maybe
pass on?
now another 3 months will be there. The ALCO has to take a call. I cannot comment here. On 1st of May, 30th of April or so, the ALCO of the bank will be meeting and they will be taking a call.
Sir, I'm asking this question because our yields are almost been stable for the last 2-3 quarters, and the rates started increasing right from May onwards. But still till December, the rates were almost stable. So actually, the question is that the customer segment to which you are lending, okay, are they okay to take a price hike? For example, your MSME segment. The discussion sometime back was actually that there has been not much pricing increase in that segment. So are now these customers okay to take that price hike?
No, I told you that I made a comparison of the pricing of the different banks and also mine, and I am not an outlier.
Okay.
So I don't find that I am an outlier and then there is a concern. Rather, I am comparable with most of the peer banks.
Okay, okay, understood. So just one last question on your slippages. This time MSME slippages were almost 90% of our overall slippages. What contributed to these kind of slippages? Whether large amount of this came from restructured book, and is there anything which you anticipate in the coming quarters from MSME book?
See, I don't anticipate much of the slippages. I will only request that to look into the holistic picture. My slippage ratio is less than 1. It is 0.82%. And when it is 0.82%, I don't think that there is a great this one. Going forward, I said the guidance that I will be containing less than 1%. That is what the guidance I gave. And if you look into the SMA book, the SMA book has also improved a lot. It has come down substantially from around 12% to 6 and point something. So there is not much of a thing. I don't envisage great slippages.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Very good
Sorry,
evening,
I'm
Mr.
late.
Ashok.
I was online with other bank and then.
I am very happy to see you here.
Sir, we have the ad hoc provisioning of this COVID ad hoc of 300 crores, which has not been utilized. Rather, it is increased from 250 to 300 crore. Do you think you will be requiring, looking at the composition of your portfolio, and when you say that the slippages are very, very low, So are you going to use some of this in the coming quarters to give a better end results, the bottom line?
No, as of now, we don't have such plans. I have kept it as a contingency, right? As you observed that, I don't expect the slippages also. Good reserves built, which will be used for the rainy days.
And sir, I missed might have missed your replies.
Yeah.
But you know, the composition of the book, which he was also talking, how exactly do you plan to come to that 2080 and thereafter maybe 2575? Because ultimately, for a bank like yours now, which is a public listed bank, you cannot indefinitely just dependent on the retail loan book only of such a high percentage. So what is exactly the roadmap? What is basically the thinking first? And how are you going to achieve that so that your business gets spread, growth also takes place, and the bottom line increases?
Yes. See, if I have to answer your question specifically, what are the plans, how I am going to gradually change the mix? Probably I may be starting with the mid corporates, where I may have exposure of say 100, 200 or 300 crores like that, instead of going to the large corporates with say 1,000 crore or like that. So I'll be slowly growing from this, to the mid corporate and then to the large corporates also. This will be one path which I will be adopting. At the same time, as I was telling before you came, that we are very keen on good corporate also, where we are comfortable, where we understand the business, where it suits our policies of the banks. We are with open mind and we are in dialogue for that. Hopefully that this year we will be able to pick up few of the corporates also, where it fits into my policies, and slowly, gradually change the proportion from these 89 or 87 to bring down to 80-20 and then 75-25.
What about going through the NBFC route, which reaches to the last mile?
I told that we are also planning to have the co-lending. That's what Mr. Choksi was asking. I told that we also have plan to go for the co-lending, and we will also be having the DSAs, which will help me to improve the retail front. But these NBFCs will be having the co-lending partnership where I can improve the business.
On the treasury side, sir, now since the rates are stable now and you have a good, I think the modified duration, how much is the modified?
It has come down. 2.9.
2.9. It needs, I think, little more. So there, what are the plans? I mean, now the treasury should start giving some good,
yes, I
good
expect
income
this,
on the.
I expect this year it will give good income. Last year was bad for the treasury, so we were having some mark to market and other things. This year I expect that it will give me a good income, which will add to the bottom line.
Do you plan to put some money in the treasury, in the CPs of the companies where the yield are much higher? You know, still the CP, the corporates are borrowing from 8.5 to maybe 9.25 or good rated companies for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months or a year. So there, I think you can make some good,
income also.
Good
Yes,
income
yes,
there. I think some funds can be deployed there also.
Sure.
Anyway, sir, thank you very much, sir, and
Thank
compliments to you for good results.
Thank you.
Of course,
Thanks a
the
lot.
bank has still long way to go under your leadership.
Sure.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us in our analyst meet today. Since there are no more questions, I invite all of you to join us for high tea and any informal discussions with the management. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for sparing your valuable time and coming over here. Thank you.